Elkins, and this is the week of presidents. We are celebrating both George Washington and Abraham Lincoln. Their birthdays moved together for a holiday. But this session, I'd like us to consider the stuff of Abraham Lincoln. There are many, many visions of Lincoln, many objects that bear his likeness. And in my household in particular, we have many familiar profiles, partly because I think my husband has been channeling Lincoln, reading Lincoln, quoting Lincoln, studying the Civil War for the last 20 years, which always makes for interesting breakfast conversation as to what might have really happened at the battles of Gettysburg, or if Lincoln hadn't picked the war secretary that he had picked. Well, so we are surrounded with his collection, filled with Lincoln's stuff. And I brought some of this today just to share as a way of talking about presidents. This, for example, this particular image of Lincoln was to encourage young people to save their coins for a good future. And this particular bank was called the Lincoln National Life Insurance Company. So if you deposited something into this Lincoln Bank, you were ensuring a better life for yourself. Or the mosaic tile, or the portraiture almost of a likeness of Lincoln. And my favorite, my treasure out of all these is this. It is a replica. It was first made in Springfield, Illinois, but it is in fact modeled on Abraham Lincoln's hand, because in preparation for the statue that would go into the Lincoln Memorial, this particular piece was made to actually convey a sense of the embodied power of this president. It shows how he held on to things, how he desperately held on to a nation. It also shows a hand that was capable of creating powerful words. It was this hand that signed the Emancipation Proclamation. And that came in response to that terrible battle of Antietam, where Lincoln admitted to his cabinet that he, for the first time, asked God for a sign that if the Union won that battle, it was time to put his hand to signing the Emancipation Proclamation. And he did that in obedience. This hand, in obedience to that sign from God, that slavery needed to be ended. So this is a hand that signed an act of liberation. It is also the hand that signed, almost 6 months later, a constitution for a new state to be formed. First, the Battle of Antietam, and then the Emancipation Proclamation, and then the document that allowed West by God, Virginia, to in fact separate from Virginia and declare its support for the Union. This is a hand that used its power to bring new things into being, things that had to do with what we remember him best for. And that is the penny, and the word on the penny, liberty. Now, I know there's a great controversy about pennies. They cost more than what they're worth. But what one does with pennies, particularly if you have children, is very important to teach in this week of what presidents should stand for. Then we just need to look at what a penny says. 1 cent, United States of America, which, by the way, we didn't say the United States of America until the Civil War was halfway over. And then it became, through Lincoln's work, not the United States are, but the United States is. And that directly then connects with the motto above, E pluribus unum, out of many, one. That is an important word to remember from this piece of stuff. In a time where it seems as if the many are not one, the many are not united, the many are in fact almost on the brink of what seems to be another uncivil war, with the dividing, not uniting. So this is a very important piece of Lincoln stuff, liberty. And as All Our Money says, and we need to strive to believe and in fact practice what we believe, in God we trust. This hand signed a document that demonstrated he believed in God, and in God he trusted when he signed that document. So, wholly human stuff for a week of presidents. And I'll come back down to what is my final 2 cents worth. I just simply want to read the words of the second inaugural and ask you to consider 2 cents worth. With malice toward none, with charity for all, with firmness in the right as God gives us to see the right, let us strive to finish the work we are in. And what is the work that we are in, according to Lincoln? What did he name first? And what we are still working at? To bind up the nation's wounds. To bind up the nation's wounds, not to continue wounding. A very important lesson from the stuff of Lincoln.
Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. His truth is marching on. In the beauty of the lilies, Christ was born across the sea, with the glory in his bosom that transfigures you and me. As he died to make men holy, let us die